them. But then it says, Vayikach achas mitzaloisav. But then later in Bereshis Genesis 2:21, it says, Vayikach achas mitzaloisav. We're in Rashi there. He took one from his ribs. So wait a second. They were made male and female from the get-go, or he was made male, and then later, one of the ribs means side, the side of Adam was removed, and that became Eve. So Rashi says, "B'medrash Haggadah shenivru shnei partsufim b'bria rishona." One person with two faces. Siamese twins, back to back. And then we spoke a lot about that yesterday. The Siamese twins sugya. They were made back to back. Yes, Yisrael Torah is so sweet. It's so sweet. The Torah is so sweet. So sweet. So let's go now weiter in the parsha. V'yavarach oisam elakim. And look, they get a blessing. V'yavarach oisam, we already spoke about the blessings that were not given to the animal kingdom. What was the reason why the blessings were not given to the animal kingdom? The blessings were given to who? The fish and the birds. Why were they given to the fish and the birds? They got a bracha from Hashem. That's a pretty good bracha. Why were they given to the fishes and the birds? Excellent. And why did he want to bless the animal kingdom? And why did he, bless the fish and the bird kingdom?
He wanted the snakes to be able to do it.
But why did he, bless the bird and the fish kingdom? They did get a blessing for multiplying and being fruitful. The answer is because human beings trap fish and eat them, and trap birds and eat them. And because there'd be a human natural desire in the world to farm and harvest and take fish and birds to eat them, so they needed an extra blessing to make sure that they did not go extinct. And then we spoke about that one of the responsibilities of the human being is to care for the environment. Is that yes, you're allowed to eat fish and eat birds as long as they're kosher, but you can't make them extinct. God is giving a blessing to them that he wants species to be in the world. We spoke about that. We spoke about something very powerful, uradu. Remember this? We're going to see this coming up also. Let's go back to a section, uradu. The yirdu b'degas hayam. Okay, just to go back to Chav Vav, one pasuk before. This is Bereshis 1:26. V'yomer Elokim nasa adam b'tzalmeinu kedmusenu. Let us make man, and we spoke about that. And then what's going to happen? We welcome our friends around the world. So wonderful to have this global Bible studies group together. V'yirdu b'degas hayam. And they will rule over the fish and over the birds of the heavens, meaning human beings, and the behemoths, and the animals, b'chol ha'aretz, u'b'chol ha'remes ha'roimes ala ha'aretz, and all things that are crawling on the land. Who has control over them? Humans. But control means responsibility. That human beings are responsible for upkeeping the world. Now look at this Rashi. We actually did not see this Rashi yet. It's a very important Rashi. What's yirdu b'degas hayam? What's the word yirdu mean? So Art Scrollian probably says, you will rule. Rule, R-U-L-E.
Yeah.
And you will have rulership over the animal kingdom. Says Rashi, this is such an important Rashi. Yesh b'lashon hazeh. What's the root of the yirdu, by the way? So let's see Rashi. Is it raid? Is it yarad? Those are two kind of opposite things. Yarad means to like go down, like a yirida, like when somebody makes a yirida from Eretz Yisrael to Los Angeles or Toronto and opens up a falafel stand or a kiosk in the mall. That's a yirida. But raid means to have power. So yirida implies going down, but ridui means to have power. So says Rashi, Yesh b'lashon hazeh, there's two different meanings. Lashon ridui, which means you're going to have power. You're going to be in charge. The human beings will be in charge of the animal world. Of course, to be a steward of the animal world, to take care of them. Ulashon yerida, which means to go down. So wait a second. There seems to be two opposite things happening here. So Rashi says something so beautiful. He says it all depends on if we are following mitzvahs. If we are following mitzvahs, zocha, roide b'chayis u'b'behemes. If we are zoiche, if we have merit, we will have dominion and be in charge of the animal world. And the animal world will even subjugate themselves to us. King David was able to wrestle lions and ride upon them. The Chaim famously could ride lions. Let's go, Rabbi Isai. Don't try that at home for all of our friends. Please, do not try to ride a lion. I would advise you against it. Unless you're Zocha. How do you know if you're Zocha? Go speak to the Rosh Hashiva to see if you're really a Zocha. If you're Zocha, then you will have absolute dominion over the animal kingdom. That we see that as we get deeper into Bereshis, we're going to see amazing, amazing things about tzaddikim were able to just move the animals of the forest at their will. And once we get to Cain, what happened to Cain and Hevel, we see that after Cain, we haven't gotten to Cain and Abel yet, but after Cain did the horrible act of murder, that was the introduction of murder into the world, so God gives him a sign on his forehead. You guys remember that? They teach you that in Sunday school? Gave him a sign, a tav, a Hebrew letter on his forehead, a tav, that he would no longer, because he would lose that protection and the animals would go and eat him. So God gave him a sign that he would still be protected. Meaning he would have been a yarad, a yerida, and he would be prey to the animals. So God gave him a sign of protection that he would not be. But without the sign of protection, he would be yarad. Because there was a punishment of nav and nad. He had to go and basically be in exile. He had to walk around. And if you're just going to get eaten up, he's not going to go through that punishment. I'm always reminded of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, of blessed memory, one of the greatest Orthodox rabbis of the last century. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef was known that he did not stop teaching Torah. On Shabbos, he gave like 10 shiurim. Just think about that.
It's not the Rabbi used to speak for like 6.
Yeah, 6, 7 hours. And there was a chayzer, Rabbi Yoel Khan, who would remember the entire drasha. It was on Shabbos, so he couldn't write anything down. He remembered every word of it, Baal Peh, and after Shabbos he could write down 6 to 7 hours of complex Torah content. He just passed away. I met him, Rabbi Yoel Khan. He is
The Rebbe or Rabbi?
of the Rebbe.
Rabbi Jacob Moshe when he was the older.
And YY was very close to the Rebbe.
He's joining the
Yeah, so YY was next level.
Yeah.
My wife thinks that he's one of the greatest voices of the generation.
He is.
He's an amazing ability of YY Jacobson, a very big Chabad leader, an elegant speaker, just a power of being mashpia Torah. So Rabbi Ovadia Yosef would go and teach like 10 shiurim. So he couldn't be late to anything, because if he was like a minute late, so then that shiur would start late, and then he would miss a shiur. And Shabbos he had to deliver Torah nonstop. So there's a story with many, many eyewitnesses that he was walking from one shiur to the next. He lived in Harnof, near Yerushalayim, and there was a poisonous cobra snake, a king cobra, that had come upon him in an alleyway that was blocking the next shiur. So he went to the right, and the snake moved to the right, and it was up, like, with the thing out, ready to, and he moved to the left, and the snake was there. Now that's not good, okay? And maybe Dylan from Australia will tell us, you don't want to, it's not good. King Cobra is not good. Okay, with the things out. So the Chassidim were like, Sfardim also have Chassidim to the Rebbe. They're like, So Rabbi Vadi just said, you're making me late for my shir. And they say that the cobra snake froze, seized, and just died. Many first-hand eyewitnesses.
Are you able to verify? Are you able to verify this? Like, meaning, can you find?
First, sure. There's people that saw it. It's written in books now. It's amazing. Meaning, it's Rashi. Zacha, ridui. You're getting in the way of delivering Torah. That's a problem. Also, remember, it was the snake. So it was putting up a fight. Snake, out of all the creatures, a lion is even easier to tame for tzaddikim. The snake is the most rebellious. So Rabbi Vadia had to, the snake even made Rabbi Vadia move from the right to the left. He took a couple extra seconds of his time. Meaning it should have been as soon as Rabbi Vadia was there, the snake would just be like, with the red carpet, like, please. But the snake put up a fight that made him go from the right to the left until he said, you're making me late for my shir. Gegangen. And that was the end of that. So Zocha, Roide, Bechayis V'Behema, Loi Zocha, if a person is not Zocha, he does not have Torah mitzvahs. We're going to explain what gives you the Zocha. Then what? Nase Yorud Lifneim. You will become lower than the animals. Be'achaya Moishelis boy. And the animal will be able to have power over. In other words, to hurt a human being. We'll see this comes up again with Cain and Hevel, with Cain and Abel. So keep this in your mind, this interplay of the human and the animal. It also comes up again in the times of Noach, as we'll see when Noach came out of the Teva. We'll see this coming back. So just keep this all in mind. So the pasuk goes on, says the Torah. This is now we're in Chaf Ches 28. Koyach v'yavarach ha'isam Elokim, and God blessed them. V'yoyim elahem, and He said to them, Elokim, Peru urevu, have children. Now, if it would have just said pru, it would mean have fruits, which means one per person, have a fruit. Urevu, have lots of children. Have lots of children. Umilu es ha'aretz, fill the land. And fill the land. We've been speaking about this in our Rabbi Nachman Shir, about populating the world with B'nai Adam, with B'nai Das. V'chiv shua, and be koivishit, meaning the world is here for us to build. But like we mentioned before, you have a responsibility. When you build, you have to make sure that you're not destroying. Go build up the world. Uradu b'digas hayam, u'ba'oif hashamayim, and the birds of the heavens, v'chol chay remes ala oretz, and all the creatures upon the land. It says the Torah. Now look at this. What was Adam's diet? And I ask our friends, what was Adam's diet? So this is the commandment of the vegetarian diet. This verse is the vegetarian commandment. The Yomer Lakim, Hine, behold, nosati lechem is kol esev, I've given you all the grasses, zoirea zera, that are producing seed, asher al penei kol haaretz, upon the land. The eskola eitz, and I've given you all the trees, asher boy, that in it pre eitz. That is a pre with a eitz, so fruits from trees. We spoke about earlier how originally the trees were supposed to taste like the fruits. Zoirea zara lochem yela achla. It will be to you, this will be your food. Okay, very important. We now know that the food that was commanded, this is Vayor Malakim, Hine, this is what I'm giving you, Eat this. Yeh la'achla. This is the diet that you shall have. Okay, so we're talking about a real vegetarian diet. Ulakol chayas haaretz, and all the animals of the land, ulakol oifa shamayim, and all the birds of the heavens, ulakol roimis ala aretz, and everything that's crawling on the ground, asher boi nefesh chaya, as kol yerek esev la'achla, vayihi chen. Looks like everyone's eating vegetarian. Says Rashi, lachem yeh la'achla, this will be to you and to all the animals of the land. Hishvil lahem hakasav. So the Torah is equating man with the behemoths, v'chayis, l'maychel. Equating humans' food with the food of the animals. That they should have the same food. What do you see from here? Says Rashi. V'lo hirsha la'adam, that it was not given permission for man, u'le'ishtoi, and his wife, lahamis, to kill any beria from the animal kingdom, v'lechol basar. There was not a allowance of any animal to be killed for human food. When was there yes given permission? After Noah came out of the Teva. Before Noah came out of the ark, there was no permission to eat any meat. Everyone's on pure vegetarian diet here.
Oh, that's just because I always understood that it was because we stooped to we were at a level where we just want our spiritual elements to
Are we on a low spiritual level here?
No, after the flood, no, I'm thinking that. Why were we able to start chefing and stuff then? We couldn't.
So let's see as we move forward. One thing you see is it seems like this is the ideal diet. This is the Gan Eden diet. This is the paradise diet.
Well, I see what you're saying. There's a bit more spiritual energy in meat. I mean, that's why it's a mitzvah to have meat on Shabbos. And you have blessed family. Even meat has more energy than grass. I mean, I'm not saying the vegetarian diet is bad.
No, I'm thinking that a non-meat diet would in theory be more.
Well, I think it's the other way around. I think we needed a higher spiritual diet because we went so low after the flood. They're like, all right, the ship's like, you need help. You can eat meat now as well. Adam didn't eat meat because he's like, he's so blessed already.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So I ask our friends, what is better, a vegetarian diet or a meat diet? I see we have friends here from Mexico. We have friends from all over the world.
Yeah. Not exactly.
Number one, where is everybody learning with us from today? And number two, what's better? Meat diet or vegetarian diet? What is better? What does the Olam say? What is better?
I definitely felt more sense of cleanliness and spirituality if I had a vegetarian.
Yeah, of course you feel light. Even to be like angels, you're not meant to eat anything. Right? Even if you have a little bit of meat, like good meat, let's say grass-fed, nice, wagyu steak, and then you want to eat the same amount of vegetarian, you have to have a whole bowl of salad. So I'm just saying it's like a lot more. I'm not saying that it's better to eat meat. I mean, 100% better to eat. Even if very fact we need to eat a lot less than we do. And if you eat vegetarian and only eat meat on Shabbos, I'm just saying that there is a lot of spirituality. That's why even on Shabbos, probably eating meat is. That makes sense.
Angels, they do eat, but not the food that we eat. They do. They eat. They have sustenance from a much more spiritual place.
Twice this week, Parsha, does Avram feed angels and Lot feed angels? Avram, I can't get the message. Why does Lot feed them?
The angels?
Yeah.
Is because it says that they came looking like humans, and therefore for derech eretz, if an angel were to pull up, you would feed them as they are appearing. So John is asking that he's new here? Are we still waiting for the Messiah? John, we are yearning every single second for the Messiah. And we know that every single word of Torah that we're learning is bringing the Messiah closer. So we see this amazing similarity that, now it's fascinating. Humans are supposed to have an absolute dominion over the animal kingdom. And at the same time, we're equated with regards to our diet. Because you would have thought that one of the powers of our dominion over the animal kingdom is you can eat them. That's not the main power. The main power is with the responsibility that you're a steward, that you could work with the animal kingdom. We have many stories where the rabbis could speak to the animals. They knew the language of the animals.
And we literally named them. I mean, naming something.
Yes, very good. Very good. Adam's naming all the animals. That's an amazing thing.
We didn't necessarily name them, we discovered.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Supposedly Adam saw what lion was made of.
Yes, he saw the Hebrew letters that were creating Aryeh.
Of Arya and
He saw it, like Matrix style. He saw the letters there.
started naming them, God named them, we just discovered what they were.
So yes, he revealed it, which also shows the power. I mean, the Aryeh couldn't name itself, because the Aryeh can't articulate speech in that way. But Adam could see the letters and he revealed it, which is also a power, is that I could see what you are. And therefore, if I could see what you are, I could help use your powers and we can work together to build up this world. So says Rashi, Akol Yerek Esav. That's the only thing they can eat. Yoichle Yachad Kulam. Everybody was eating veggie.
Animals also?
Yeah, pashit. Adam was eating veggie. Everyone was eating veggie. Pure veggie diet. Pure veggie diet, including the animals. Which means the animals weren't eating each other.
So everything was kosher.
Well, you couldn't eat the bugs. I mean, I'm saying you couldn't eat, that would be not kosher. You can't eat the bugs. Or you can't eat the animals. That's also not kosher. But yeah, everything was kosher.
It wasn't even a thought to eat.
One tree.
Oh, there's one non-kosher item in the entire world, which we have not arrived at yet. But there was one non-kosher. Everything was kosher. Well, except you can't eat an animal. And all the trees are kosher. They weren't edible, so then you could say the same thing. Why was this tree not edible? This tree was also not edible, but we'll see Adam did it.
Maybe because
How wasn't there an issue of overpopulation? With like animals, they weren't killing themselves. Now you see that there's a cycle of life.
It's true. You see, though, that Hashem had a way of organizing it, that animals did not need to eat each other. They would die of natural causes. And there was no need that they would kill each other.
The Taliban would be different. With animals, you look at the like rabbits and deer and stuff, they go at each other like butter. Where probably the Garden of Eden, they weren't doing that. There would be a certain number that would be enough. They're not having this need to go and constantly reproduce.
They had a bracha. They were reproducing, but they would live and they would have a life and they would pass on, and the cycle of life continued without the aggression that came to the world through people killing each other.
These days it seems to be that there's like a balance. That if, let's say, lions wouldn't kill antelopes,
You're right.
then they would
Overpopulate.
populate stuff.
Things changed. After the flood, the world changed dramatically. We've not arrived at this yet, but it's important to know that, let me ask our friends also, when did seasons come into the world? Winter, spring, summer, fall. When did seasons come into the world? Were seasons in the world from here? When did seasons begin? I ask our friends, when did seasons begin? We already have seasons here. Were there seasons? We do have constellations on day 4. But when did seasons come into the world? That's day 4. So it means we had seasons. It was winter, spring, summer, fall. At this time in the history of the unfolding of the world, there was no seasons. There were no seasons. Now it's interesting, there's also a place in the world that a little bit exists still without seasons. It's called Hawaii. I'm not playing. I lived in Hawaii for half a year, and Hawaii is an amazing place. There's almost no seasons. It's basically the same temperature, like 81, 80, 79, 82, the whole year. It's like, and it'll like rain a little bit, and then it's like an interesting thing. It's almost like a little bit of a paradise. Hawaii, everybody knows Hawaii is like next level.
Is there not a wet and dry season? Like an 8 day, but wet and dry.
Hawaii is a very fascinating place. It's like, it's less seasonal than many other places in the world. It's like very consistent. Do you know when seasons started in the world? After the flood. After Noah came out of the flood, begins seasons. Hawaii is like something interesting. Hawaii is God's name backwards. Yud Kei Vav Kei. Hawaii. Hawaii. Hawaii is like an interesting place. There's a lot of stuff going on in Hawaii, by the way. Have any of our friends here been to Hawaii? Have you guys been to Hawaii? Who here has been to Hawaii? Our friends around the world, you've been to Hawaii? Hawaii is very fascinating. There's a place on Kauai, maybe you heard about it, called the Nepali Coast, which is called the Naphtali Coast. Why is it called Naphtali? Now it's interesting. And who are their priests? The big kahuna, Rabbi. The kahuna? The big kahuna? Kohen Gadol? The big kahuna? What's going on with Hawaii? What is happening with Hawaii? And by the way, if you were to dig a hole from Yerushalayim, not through the world going below the equator, but staying above the equator, just going through the world, and you start in Hawaii, and you would just dig this way, you'd pop out in Yerushalayim.
What do you say?
We said Hawaii, Hawaii, Yud Kei Vav Kei.
Is that the place surrounded by the rivers? Is the ocean just the river?
Hawaii. Hawaii is a very special place. Hawaii is very, everybody knows Hawaii is next level. Hawaii is an amazing place. I spent a lot of time on Kauai. They call it Garden Island. Hawaii is very special, very special. There's a lot of spiritual, there's a lot of energy in Hawaii. Fascinating energy in Hawaii. And it's interesting, when I was there, when I was there was certain like healers on the island that I spoke to. Because I was always, trying to find like the chevra, if you know what I'm saying, like the ones that were like awakened. We spoke about this yesterday, about like, sadly, a lot of the natives moved to Coca-Cola and Levi's blue jeans and smartphones. But some of the ones that didn't grow up there knew like there's something here, there's an energy here in Hawaii that's very special and unique. And I remember one of them took me to a library and he was showing me some of the books, because when settlers would come to places, they would, the old school, they didn't have cameras or anything, so they always had people like drawing paintings of what they would see. It was like a normal thing. Now, we're not into being settlers, we're not into, colonizing. But those who did that, they would draw pictures. So I remember this person, this certain healer on the island, so he took me to one of the libraries there, and we were looking at like all these books of like old Hawaiian culture. And he opened up these books, and he showed me these pictures of like what they saw when they first got to the island. And when you think of Hawaiians, usually we think of like big people, tattoos everywhere. But these pictures did not resemble that whatsoever. The pictures were very resembling of like kind of thinner, bearded people that looked a bit Yiddish. And he said that what you identify as the Hawaiians nowadays is more when they intermarried with the Tahitians. And that was more of the tattooing and more. there's a lot going on in Hawaii. There's a lot going, there's a lot of special, beautiful energy in Hawaii that I think is something very, very unique. Hawaii is a very special place, very special place. Until this very day, I have this like love for the energy there, the vibrations of Hawaii.
Isn't there a bunch of islands which are?
So I was on Kauai mostly. There's Big Island, there's Maui, there's like interesting places in Hawaii. I'm not the biggest expert on Hawaii. The speaker of Gal was one of the world's greatest surfers. He's a rabbi here in the yeshiva now. He grew up in Hawaii. He was literally one of the world's best surfers. The amazing is his Hebrew name is Gal, which means a wave. Yom Tov Glazer. He didn't grow up there. He grew up in LA. But Gal, yeah. Oh, Rabbi Yom Tov. Oh, Rabbi Yom Tov. That's the first time meeting Rabbi Yom Tov. You found your Rebbe, I think. So, what did you go for? An Asian night or a Mexican night? Shabbos Sukkot. Rabbi Yom Tov is amazing. So, the idea of seasons only start after Noah comes out of the ark. Here there's no seasons, and why do we bring up Hawaii? Because Hawaii has like some energy. There's a Hawaiian energy that's somehow like still tied in to a world before the flood. A world before things changed, which is fascinating. It's amazing. The Torah is so deep. I never learned any of this in Sunday school. But you just open up the Torah, you learn Rashi, and you see it's all here. So Rashi continues. Only Kishabo b'nei Noach, when the children of Noah came after the flood, hitter lehem basar, then we were given a heter. We're given permission to eat meat. But before that, there was no permission for us to eat meat. Shene'emar, kol remes asher hu chai. Then it says, later in Genesis 9:3, anything which is of living creatures, ki yerek esav shehitarti la'adam harishon, like I gave Adam permission to eat the vegetables, now nasati lachem es kol, now I'm allowing you permission to eat all of the animal life. But before that, there was no permission to eat animals. And the Torah continues. And again, we welcome our friends, and if they share where they're writing from today, it's wonderful. We'll have a few questions in a few minutes from our chevra before we get into the Gemara. V'yar Elokim es kol asher asa, and God saw everything that was done. V'hine, what does the word say? Hine tov me'od, and it was very good. Wait a second. We have not seen that language before. Until now, every single day it said tov. And God saw everything it did, and it was good. Second day, he didn't say good. Because nothing is good unless you complete the job. We learned that. And on day 3, when God completes the waters, and he completes the vegetable kingdom, it says that it's good, pamayim, it says good twice. On day 4, it's good. Day 5, it's good. Day 6, it's very good. It says good and then very good. What's very good? So I have to tell you an amazing, amazing secret, and we talked about this yesterday. Good is the Yetzer Tov. Tov. Tov me'od, very good. Yetzer Hara. Very good. How is the Yetzer Hara very good?
Who says that, Rashi?
That's in Medrash. Because when you're activating free will, that's very good. If you want to become a great boxer, how are you going to become a great boxer? Shadow boxing? You probably need Andrew Tate there, trying to punch you in the head and defending. You need a sparring partner who's good. If your sparring partner is not that good, it's not going to be so good. You need someone good. You need a real partner. And because he is challenging you, become great. Remember our story yesterday from the Zohar about the king who had a son who was a prince, and the prince was not exactly kingly material. And the only way we said for him to inherit the kingdom is if God would, the king, would test his son. And through overcoming those tests, he would become a prince worthy of the kingdom. So the king sent a zoina, sent someone to seduce him. And through him rejecting the seduction, he was able to turn himself into a kingly human being. Toiv me'oid. Toiv me'oid. Very good. An amazing, amazing insight. Very good. Toiv me'oid. Vayere vayivoiker. Look, it sounds like we're making Kiddush. Yoim HaShishi. The sixth day. Now, if anybody's here and really looking into the wording here, Yoim HaShishi. So Yom HaShishi is unique. So let me take you through a riddle. And we invite our friends to answer this riddle. On day one it says, Yom Rishon. Day two, Yom Sheni. Day three, Shlishi. Revi, Chamishi, Yom HaShishi. Why does God say the sixth day? He adds the letter Hey.
Something to do with Rosh Hashanah, hey.
The sixth day. Every single day it says first, second, third, and then the sixth day. It's called the Hey Hayediyah, the big sixth day. What is this big special sixth day, Josh?
Is it because that's like the night of the sixth? Or I guess it would be because I was thinking like the Shabbos is like feminine energy and the hay is feminine.
Okay, saying good. We're going in a Kabbalistic direction here. I like that. Yom HaShishi, but it's also only the sixth day. It's not Shabbos yet.
It kind of turns into a title, like it's like, is the world, and then like all the subcategories.
Yom HaShishi.
Like,
Also, we end the pericope here. We end a section. There's a big pay there, which means a break, a section. Yom HaShishi, the sixth day. Yom HaShishi. So look at Rashi. Because when you want to understand the Bible, my friends, you need to learn Rashi. And we suggest all of our friends around the world to go buy a Rashi. Go buy a Chumash. Oh, can I show them that one? Yarden, that's a very good addition for people to get. We invite the whole world. You can go buy this. It's excellent. It's excellent. This Rashi is unbelievable. In English, to really understand what is the Torah speaking about. So Yom HaShishi. So Rashi is asking the question. Every single one of the days it says the day. And when it comes to the sixth day, it says Yom HaShishi. So says Rashi. Hoisev Hey Bishishi. God added the letter Hey when it came to Yom HaShishi. Bigamar Ma'aseh Bereshis. This is the end of the entire creation narrative, right? This is it. Man is, everything's created. Okay, did God create Shabbos, or it's when he stops creating? So Yom HaShishi, Loimar, to teach you the following idea. Remember, this is the end of the creation story, okay? My friends, this is going to be strong. This is a strong idea. It's actually one of my favorite ideas. I like speaking about this certain times of the year. Loimar, to teach you, Shehisna Imoim, that God made a condition with the entire creation story. The entire creation was made on condition. Whoa. All of creation was made with a condition. It wasn't God was just bored one day, like let's just make creation and like do as you will. And I'm just going to check out. I think called the watchmaker, which is just the most foolish belief system. The entire belief of the watchmaker, that a watchmaker can make a watch and leave the watch on the table and then go out and get a coffee and a croissant, and the watch will still be there, ticking away. That cannot exist. Why? Because all of that is coming from a belief system of finite building finite, taking finite material, moving finite material into a different form. For example, if I have a piece of bullion, Yisrael wants to buy a golden Kiddush cup. So I have a piece of gold, I've got a gold bar right here. Okay, at $4,000 an ounce, that gold bar is going to be worth something good. I've got a gold bar here on the table. I take the gold bar, I warm it up, I put it into a cauldron, and I take it out, and then I shape it, and then I fashion it into a beautiful Kiddush cup, to a goblet. So can I walk away and have lunch, and the goblet will still exist on the table? Of course, because I just took something that's finite building material, and I changed the form from a block of gold into a cup of gold. Because that is called finite from finite. But God didn't create the world finite from finite. He created it from the infinite of God. Which means finite from finite can still be there, like a watchmaker. Finite from infinite has to be constantly given life. Constant life. The infinite creator is constantly giving life to finite creation. This is one of the most fundamental realities that once a person lets this settle with him, you're in a totally new reality of understanding creation. And that God is constantly involved with us in giving life to creation. Very, very important. So when God made creation, He made it with a condition. What was the condition? Al menas, on the condition, sheyikablu aleim Yisrael chamisha chumshei Torah, that a nation will accept chamisha chumshei Torah. The letter Hey is the gematria 5, the 5 books of the Torah, which means the entire project of creation will be that the creation will know the Creator. The entire project of creation would be that the creation can have a relationship with God. And that would happen through the transmission of the Torah. Okay? So at the end of the entire creation story, God says, Yoim ha-shishi. Answer number 1. Answer number 2. Davar acher, Yoim ha-shishi. What's Yoim ha-shishi? The 6th day, Yoim ha-shishi. That the entire world, Kulam tuluyim ve'oimdim. The whole world was created, but the world was not yet stable. We'll learn about this later. We'll talk about tectonic plates. We'll talk about a lot of things. The world was very unstable because creation had not yet ended. Creation would only end when what? Ha-shishi, the 6th day. What is the 6th day? The 6th day of Sivan, which is what? Kabbalah Torah, the day that we accepted the Torah. That there was a 6th day, Ha-shishi. All of creation was waiting to get to Yom Ha-shishi. Was all to get to Yom Ha-shishi. The 6th day. The whole world was waiting. And the whole world could have accepted. And the whole world was offered this relationship. Only Klal Yisrael said, Na'aseh v'nishma, that we want it. That we want it. So we move to a second piece of Bereshis already. We'll invite some of our friends who have some questions here to ask. And we're happy to do our best to answer some of the questions from our chevra for a few minutes. I see a lot of questions about Adam and Eve. So, poor Mumami is asking about Adam, and he wants to say that it's not Eve, it's Steve. So, the first thing, poor Mu, that we have to point out is that the Torah, Eve, is not the name in the Torah. It's Chava. It's Adam and Chava. Her name is Chava. Chava means that she's the Ein Kol Chai, the mother of all living beings. Because women, and there may be tomatoes being thrown at me right now, women are able to give birth and not men. So this, that Adam and Chava, it's that there would need to be male and female energy in the world. Chava, which means she's the mother of all living beings, she will be the power, the divine female power of bringing life into the world. Steve is not able to do that. Only Chava is able to do that. Unless Steve is a female name. I have not heard that before. But thank you, Parmu, for the question. Let's see one more question. So Aaron is speaking about coming back to Israel. So yes, if you open up Deuteronomy 30, verses 3 through 5, you will see that there's a prophecy that in the end of days, this is one of the most beautiful verses in the entire Torah. And I suggest people to really know this verse, think about this verse. In Parshat Nitzavim. So in Devarim, at the end of the Torah, so the Torah says like this, V'shav Hashem Elokecha shavuscha v'richamecha. That in the end of days, God will bring back the captives. And He'll bring back all those that are lost. And God will have mercy. V'shav, and they will come home. V'kibeitzcha, and He will gather them. Mikolo amim asher hefitzcha Hashem Elokecha shama. That all the exiles around the world that have gone all over the place. And Lubavitch Rebbe was very much involved in this, but this is all the shluchim going out and bringing back all the lost sparks. That those sparks will make their way home. It's amazing even right now, just thinking of learning with friends of ours all over the world, that sparks, that's why it's so nice knowing where people are learning with us from all over the world, from Ireland, from Mexico, from Australia, from Japan, from China, all over the world, and that they're hearing Torah, and it's awakening a return, that people are coming back from all over the world. And then the Torah says like this, Im yeh nidocha b'ktzei hashamayim. And even if those that have gone into exile have gone all the way to the edges of the heavens, they're running away from life, and they've set up some encampment on the edge of Mars or something, or further. The discussion of going to Mars, we can have another time. I'm actually interested in such a discussion and interested in such a proposal of finding out what's going on there. I think there is a place for that. But not every person's running away from his life. So no matter where those exiles have gone to, Misham yikabetzcha, from there God will gather them in. Umisham yikachecha, He will bring them back. But back to where, my friends? So Aaron, pay attention to verse 5. Ve'heviacha Hashem Elokecha, and He will bring you El ha'aretz asher yarshu aveisecha, to the land that your forefathers inherited. Go all the way back to Genesis and the inheritance of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to come to the land of Israel. V'yirishta, and they will inherit it. Ve'tivcha v'hirbecha ma'aveisecha, and it will be good. He will do good for you and make you even more numerous than your forefathers. So thank you so much for the question, my dear friends. Let us go into Tehillim. B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to, like some of our friends point out, to sing our scripture. And we're so happy to be learning together. It's on page 975, Shir Lamalois. And then we're going to go dive deeper in. We have the Tehillim, Chevra. Want to bring a few Tehillim? Page 975, Tehillim 121. Oh, maybe one more. Shir lamalos esaina yeleyarim miyayin yavo ezri meim Adonai ose shumayim v'oretz al yiten lamod raglecha al yanum shomrecha הנה לימים ולא ישן שומר ישראל אדוני שמרך אדוני צילך על יד ימינך יומם השמש לא יככה וירח בלילה אדוני ישמוך מכל רע ישמור את נפשך אדוני ישמור צאצך ויך מעתה ועד העולם. Thank you everyone for joining us. Hatzlacha.